What's up? It's been a while since I got wasted in the kitchen and made something awesome. So today, I'm going to be making Puerco Pibil. This is an awesome dish straight out of the Yucatán. I've actually made this dish on this channel before. I was basically making Robert Rodriguez's version of the dish, since he popularized it in the movie Once Upon a Time in Mexico. His recipe has pretty much become the standard way to make this dish for anyone stumbling upon the dish for the first time. But since then, I probably made that version about 10 times, usually 2 or 3 times a year. But recently, I've come up with my own version, based off both that one and other recipes I've seen on it, and some of my own personal preferences. Most recipes are pretty similar, but differ slightly on quantities and preparation. So let's get into it. Let's start out by making the very marinade that sets this dish apart from anything else you may consume. Start with a half cup of white vinegar. We're going to be doing 7 habaneros, which is significantly more than any recipe I've seen. If you don't like super spicy, you're definitely going to want to take all or most of the seeds out, because if you don't, this dish will be way too spicy for the majority of people. You're also definitely going to want to wash your hands thoroughly before you use the bathroom or touch your eyes, or it will hurt a lot. Throw in a jalapeño for good measure. Leave the seeds in on that one. I also like to throw in a quarter or a half of an onion. It helps marginally with the flavor dynamic of the dish. 12 cloves of garlic. And if the cloves are small or medium size, I actually like to put in even more. We're doing 2 fresh squeezed oranges. I actually like to include the pulp, so I use a little bit of tequila just to wash the pulp down into the mixture. Most recipes for this dish call for limes. Some say lemons, I say both. We're gonna do 4 lemons and 3 limes. Well, this marinade's pretty fun so far. Let's get into the spice mix. We're doing 5½ scoops of annatto. We're doing 4 teaspoons of cumin. A lot more cumin than you typically see in this. As you could probably already tell, there's many ingredients that make this dish stand out. But in my opinion, it's definitely the annatto, the cumin, and the garlic, which really are the flavor drivers behind this dish. So we're gonna do a lot of all of that. Most of these recipes call for some oregano. We'll do a quick pinch. 2 tablespoons of black pepper, teaspoon of cloves, teaspoon of allspice, and that's that. You're gonna wanna spend a good 2 hours just grinding these spices. You really just wanna grind these spices down really good, and it takes about a good 2 hours to really just grind these down real good. Or you could just use a coffee grinder and it takes like 30 seconds. Marinate overnight, or at least for like a good hour, or like a minute or 2, 30 seconds, I don't really care. It's a really good idea to heat up your banana leaves before you wrap your meat with them. This will make them a lot more malleable and a lot easier to work with. And it also smells amazing when you do this. I presume all that flavor just cooks right into the meat. I guess so. Whenever you do it, the entire kitchen just smells amazing. It smells like you're cooking something really special and unique. As a good luck charm, go ahead and start by sprinkling some of that salt right on the top. Squeeze the lime. 1 shot of tequila. You're going to want to use a different tequila than the one you used before, preferably a slightly nicer one. Not only is this good luck, but it'll ensure your dish achieves a dynamic tequila complexity that will set it apart from any other dish in existence. I've said this before in other videos, but it's very important to stay hydrated while you're cooking. Otherwise, you may end up making some really crappy food, and no one wants that. In order to make the perfect rice, go out to the garden and pick a tomato, a jalapeno, and some scallions. Chop up the onions, jalapenos, and scallions and start sauteing them with some olive oil. To flavor the rice, you're going to need a quarter slice of that garden fresh tomato, small piece of onion, garlic, and tomato paste. And to get it to blend, you're going to need some sort of a liquid that has flavor, like a really good flavor. Like you're going to want some sort of a tequila of some sort. Definitely, that would work very nicely. 1 cup of rice. I like to cook the rice for about 1 to 2 minutes before I add anything else in. Stir it constantly and add oil just to make sure it doesn't stick. If you're using like washed rice, this part, yeah, it's gonna stick. Pour in your tequila rice salsa. Cook that for another minute or so.
Warning, tequila is actually flammable, so be careful and don't light your rice on fire.
I like to pour in 1.5 cups of beef broth. It's much more common to use chicken broth, so you might want to use that instead. Don't use water. Water has no flavor and that's no good. Chop up your favorite color assortment of bell peppers, onions, olive oil. For the best results, I'd recommend cooking these on a very low flame, anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes, or longer if you want. After these peppers are done, put them on a plate with your rice and pork, and then you can eat it. Yeah, also be sure to check out my other videos that I make, I make other types of videos where you could learn stuff, or you could also like be entertained and see something entertaining. That's cool if you watch videos. This video is sponsored by eggs. Eat them,